Welcome to the Cosmic Panel. It's this cat's birthday. Happy birthday, cat. Epic.
Today is October 26th. We're going to be going through our weekly polls. So, Elias, what top five picks do you have for this week?
So this week is a nice little week. Right now, I'm gonna go with Strange number 7 as my top pick here, my first pick. Strange has been a lot of fun. Jed McKay's been killing it on keeping fresh ideas for Clea and just keeping it interesting for a new Sorcerer Supreme. We did just find out that Steven, though, is the Harvestman. So it's going to be interesting to see how he can either be brought back or if he's, how he's going to deal with his situation. Wong was a beautiful issue, too. I love some solo Wong stuff. So I really don't mind having some Wong time, some solo Wong time.
What was the organization
What
that
was
he
it?
found out?
Well, no, I forget the name, but it's basically former Shield people that were in the Mystic Division. Wand. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
that
what
was
it
what it
was.
was called.
Clever, clever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting. We're gonna see. We're gonna finally finding out more about this enemy that Cleo's facing off against. Next up, I'm gonna pick Venom 12. A weird pace. At first, I'm pretty sure that it was a bi-monthly book, like when it first started. So I'm a little confused as to where that went because I don't think it's been bi-monthly recently.
No, it
But
hasn't.
but I won't complain. We need some Ram V advancement of the Dylan story, so I'm hyped for to see what the deal is with this brain world, this Venom world
Yeah.
that he's in. So it's been really interesting, and I guess he has to fight his embodiment of his dad.
Yeah, which is
Um,
pretty interesting. I wonder if that's Meredith or not.
I don't think so. I
Because,
think
like,
it's
honestly,
just
now I'm
like a
questioning who's actually Eddie and who isn't now. Because,
yeah. The most recent Thor issue, we thought that we were speaking to present Eddie, but it turns out that he was Meridius the whole time, and he basically shifted in front of Thor, and Thor's like, "What the fuck?"
yeah, no, it was a
and
great twist.
he picked up he had the Hellnir,
Helnir, yeah.
which is fun. Yeah, surprisingly good Thor issue. Really did some cool stuff. Thor bond with the Venom symbiote, which was really cool, and bring the symbiote to Asgard. They're still saying that that symbiote was Bedlam's child, which
Yeah.
is they didn't explain that yet, but I guess that's coming up in the Venom series.
Yeah, I guess so. Also, I loved.
But this just seems like a fragment of Eddie's memory. It doesn't seem like another version of Eddie
Yeah,
in the Venom world landscape, but yeah.
I think it's very interesting that I find it funny because I reread some of the lines from Eddie after we learned that it's Meridius, and he says, "Let me go for the classic Venom look," and it's
Mm,
like, ah, you fucking bitch, you fucking snuck that.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
to him it would be like a couple thousand years since he's last looked like Venom. So,
right,
so it was such a cool twist.
exactly.
And also,
Yeah.
Carnage recently got in possession with a piece of Venom, so I wonder if that's going to tie in at all too.
Yeah, we didn't seem to find anything else about the symbiote itself, but at the end of the Thor issue, the symbiote that I guess was Bedlam's child dripped down and infected Donald Blake.
Yeah,
So I didn't think we were gonna see Blake again. So I don't know what the fuck's good with that. Next up, I got Moon Knight Annual #1. I'm hyped that they're giving him an annual. We don't get much, in the way of additional Moon Knight stories when there's an ongoing book. This year has been really great because we got Black, White, and Blood for Moon Knight, and now we're getting an annual as well. This is a big sized issue, and we got Werewolf by Night on the cover, which is sick.
yeah.
We haven't seen him in a long time in the comics, at least this classic version. So hopefully it is indeed Jack Russell, and hopefully it gives a cool reuniting for the two of them. So I'm hyped for that.
It also looks
Um,
like Mark is in his classic getup, so I wonder if this is
yeah,
like maybe in the past.
but it's still written by Jed, and trying to see who the artist is. Federico
Federico,
Sabatini.
yeah, Federico,
I
who
think
has
I've
done
seen
a
his work
yeah,
before.
he did another issue of Moon Knight. I believe he did the one with Taskmaster.
Yeah, so that's hype. So I'm hype about that. I'm picking that up for sure. Next up, I'm very excited to read The Human Target #8. I'm super hyped for this. every issue has had a different member of the Justice League International on the cover. So this time we got a Red Rocket, I believe,
Rocket
or
Red.
Rocket Red,
Okay.
Rocket
I
Red.
never even knew this was a character.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting that Lucas didn't know about Rocket
Yeah.
Red.
But I love that they're pulling characters that legitimately most people wouldn't know about and having them
Hmm.
face off against Chance, which is so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. This cover is amazing too.
Yeah,
So
no, it looks like a noir film. I mean, every one of these covers have been utter bangers, but I love that the red is
yeah,
the only thing you see, like color wise.
yeah. So yeah, I'm super hyped to see what happens next. We're nearing the end of this story, so it's gonna get really intense too. Now that we have found out that Guy did indeed cause Chance's poisoning, I think that the rest of the JLI is gonna just be going after him, him and Ice, and kind of just treating them like criminals, I guess.
Yeah,
That's my guess. So it's gonna get really intense. So
it's
I'm really hyped for that.
it's gonna be like an on the lam couple type like movie esque story. I feel
Yeah, exactly.
like they're gonna be running away. They're gonna be hiding from all types of heroes, and then like they're just gonna be like hiding out, and then
Yeah,
eventually either something's gonna go wrong or Chance is gonna find out something about Ice, and everything's gonna go to shit.
yeah.
They still haven't found his cure
Um,
yet either, so that's also a major concern.
yeah.
If there is one, which we don't even know
If
if
there
there
is
is.
one, which I don't even think there is, but yeah, I'm super hyped for that. Finally, I have Axe Judgment Day number 6. This is the final issue of Axe.
Yeah,
Now, Lucas and I had to go ahead and read this
yeah,
because it is such an important issue to a very amazing event. But yeah, so we read this book. It was amazing. Really crazy finale. I think there's a few more details that I'll want to see in like
yeah,
different books. Like with, I just really want to know what happened with Orcus at the end there and how they did what they did.
yeah. That
Um,
will definitely have to be expanded on, probably in Immortal X Men. I'd be surprised if not.
yeah, yeah,
Just
definitely.
but like the fact that Orcus now has like a good public relationship is scary for the X Men.
I want that Nimrod balloon that kid was holding.
Yeah, that was unironically adorable, and I was like, oh
Yeah, that was really
god.
funny.
And then also on
Yeah,
top of that, I love that Krakoa kind of gave in to human resurrections, but also like Sinister and like all of them are like fucking playing everyone by being like, you can't deny sick kids, so it'll only be 5% of our resurrections, but they can't complain because it's sick kids. Like, oh god, wow, y'all are really
it's
trying to do a foundation, make a wish foundation esque type of situation,
well,
huh?
it's cool that that Gene's making this Phoenix Foundation. I think it's a cool progression.
Yeah,
Um, we'll see how it goes in the future. I don't know. It's shaky ground
yeah. I feel like this is
for
her
sure.
trying to quote unquote atone for her errors after she
Yeah,
got judged, and I feel
right.
like this is a lackluster way to do that. Like obviously bringing back people from the dead is like very important, but like it's more of clearing her conscience than repaying the damage that she did.
Yeah, I guess she sees the lives that she took. She sees this as a way of repaying that. You know?
Yeah. I also
Yeah.
loved that Cap was pissed off at Tony when Tony's tried to rub it in his face that he passed and Cap didn't. And Cap was like, it was
Yeah.
literally based off you. Of course it was going to find you worthy. Like, Cap was
Yeah.
legitimately pissed. And
Yeah. He
you
was
don't
pissed off.
usually see him angry like that.
Yeah.
That, like, scared
I
me a
like
little bit.
that.
I was like, oh, God.
Yeah. Seriously.
Cersei's fucking dead.
So she's fucking dead. And I'm
Cersei
just
got plus
curious with
ratioed.
Eternals. I'm just curious what Eternals are still alive because the fifth issue, like they killed like Icarus and all these fun motherfuckers, and like they're just dead.
Yeah, there's
So
no
I
more
don't know.
returning for them.
So I don't know what they're gonna do with the Eternals going forward. There's not a lot of them left if that's how they're doing it. So
Yeah. And
um,
Ajax being a celestial now is like
that
that's
was
gonna go somewhere eventually.
that was a really cool way to wrap
The
up her
small like
story.
twitch and then the cut. It's like, oh god.
So yeah, I mean, just a really amazing event, really amazing issue. Really excited to see what repercussions this has,
I do kinda
and
wish
we are getting the Omega soon. So
yeah, that is true. I do kinda wish they had resolved the celestial a little bit differently. Like, I mean, not the Celestial. The Celestial himself being judged was fine, but like the deaths, I feel like should have been either not resolved or like only partially resolved.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying like I didn't love that he brought like everyone back.
Yeah,
But I mean, I'm assuming that there's going to be issues going
yeah.
forward
I wonder if
with
that'll still result in villains though, because they all have their memories still of them dying.
yeah, there's going to be a lot of people pissed at the Eternals and shit.
Oh yeah, no, I love that like the Eternals are now getting what the mutants always got, like the hate. And like
Hmm.
Nightcrawler's like, don't worry, Arrows. We've been there.
Yeah, you'll get used to it.
Yeah.
Really amazing event, so hype for that.
Yeah, no, it was great.
All right, so Lucas, what are your top five picks for this week?
So my top five picks. First up is DC versus Vampires number 10. This series started off really shaky, really weird. It's kind of been goofy. But man, has the story been really progressing recently? Supergirl is trying to get to Australia because that's the only place that sunlight still exists. They clouded out all the vampires, clouded out the skies, the atmosphere. So to recharge Supergirl, they have to go to all the way to Australia and escape to space.
Oh wow.
Birds of Prey are basically going after Nightwing, who is, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, Nightwing is the king of vampires.
Oh
In this
really?
story. Yeah. So like in the beginning, first
Wow.
issues, they're like, who's the one that's the vampire king? Who's the one that betrayed us? And it was Nightwing this entire time, and it got revealed. So
Hmm.
obviously Barbara and all of them are very pissed. So the Birds of Prey are going into Gotham to kill him with Damien, who is a vampire, but he's actually a vampire hunter that kills other vampires.
Oh,
Like he's
okay,
like
that's
Blade,
cool.
basically. It's actually
Yeah,
pretty cool. It's like fitting for him.
that's nice. I
And
like that.
Alfred gives him like blood smoothies and shit. He's like, Alfred, can I get another blood smoothie, please? Coming right up, sir. And he walks with the tray and everything. It's so funny. And
Word.
then Green Arrow's trying to save like this basically the humans that are trapped in the blood farm, which is basically like literally what it sounds like. They feed the humans just enough so that they're alive, and then they literally milk them for their blood. So a lot of subplots, a lot of stories. It's kind of going wild. I'm excited to see where this progresses, though.
Yeah.
After that is Vanish number 2. This this series got off to I think a hilarious start. To be honest, the premise of this is hilarious. It's obviously taking itself very seriously, which is fine. Basically, the premise is Harry Potter, but instead of using a spell to beat Voldemort, Harry just pulled out a Glock and shot him in broad daylight.
Hmm.
And it's really interesting because now all the quote unquote Voldemort followers or whatever they're called the Prestige now, are basically pretending to be superheroes in the real world. And so the Harry Potter of this wizarding world is quote unquote turning into a villain to kill them all. So he's using his magical powers without revealing that he has magic to basically pretend to be a supervillain. Which is pretty
Cool.
interesting. I'm excited to see where it goes. And I mean, it is Donny Cates. And usually when Donny Cates does his own solo stuff, like outside of Marvel and DC, he usually has a full plan in mind. He has a whole idea of like how it's gonna go.
Him and Stegman working together again, so that's cool.
Yeah, no, exactly. After that is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 101. We are finally here. Huge change up the Mighty Morphin universe with the last issue, with the end of Death Ranger. Jason, who is in charge of the Omega Rangers, can no longer morph. Period.
Hmm.
He will
Oh,
no longer be able. He will no longer be coming back until Zeo, like the next TV show. So like it fits
hmm.
into the timeline. Which
Oh,
I don't know if
interesting.
you'll ever get that comic version of that. That would be sick if they eventually like progress through each show.
That's cool.
But yeah, he's done. So he gives the morpher to Trini, the Yellow Ranger, the
Hmm.
original Yellow Ranger. So now she is the Red Ranger of the Omega Rangers, and now they have a full team basically. And I mean, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers they got the Green Ranger, the new Green Ranger. They have the full team. They are just getting ready basically for Lord Zed to basically just come back and fucking try to kill them all. So it's a fresh new start. There's a lot of places they could go. And I mean, they
Cool.
combine both series to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So I'm wondering if they're just going to focus on the Earth series or if they're going to combine both series, both teams.
Cool.
After that is X-Terminators 2. Legitimately, X-Terminators 1 was one of the funniest comic books I've read in so long. It is just a girl's night out with a bunch of X-women, and literally they get hammered, and then they get kidnapped by vampires. and then everything goes wrong. And it's such a weird and wacky duo. It's Jubilee, Boom Boom, Dazzler, and Wolverine. And it's such a perfect group of people that counter each other.
Laura Kinney Wolverine, right?
Yeah, Laura Kinney.
Yeah, Wolverine.
So her being super serious, Boom Boom and Boom Boom being just like her wacky self, Jubilee being like, I need to get back to my kid, and then Dazzler being like, she just got dumped, so she's just like, let's party, let's get
Does this
wasted.
have to do with Jubilee's vampire past? Is this somehow like connected to that?
They did talk about how she was a
for a while.
vampire. They didn't mention that, but it's not. It's actually ironically not connected to her vampire past. The person that Dazzler dumped is a vampire.
Right. Okay.
The one that she broke up with, and so her ex now kidnapped her and threw her in like this virtual reality sim thing. So it's weird, it's funny, it's very, very entertaining. Yeah, I've been loving it. It's hilarious.
Sweet.
Everything out of Boom Boom's mouth is like a legitimate great quote that you could probably use.
That's cool.
Yeah, no, it's so funny. And then my most anticipated poll is Riddler Year One. I loved Matt Reeves' The Batman, and you're telling me now a comic written by Paul Dano is coming out about Riddler? Sign me the fuck up. Paul Dano.
Wow.
He wrote this. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know he was writing that.
Yeah, he wrote it, and bro, cool. I am so excited to see where this goes. I mean, the fact that this is a limited, but I don't know how many issues it's going to be. There's this, and then there's going to be one in December. So it's going to be pretty spaced apart. Obviously, probably because, it's 6-issue miniseries.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But yeah, it's an immediate prequel to the Batman. So we're probably going to see him literally plan everything, which I think will be super interesting. I'm excited to see what happens. And yeah.
That's sick.
I mean, I loved his take on the Riddler. It was so fun. It was so entertaining.
That's really hype. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, no, exactly. But yeah, this has been the Cosmic Panel, October 26th, weekly polls. I'm Lucas.
And I'm Olias. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Remember to...
Don't forget to subscribe, visit your local comic shop, and read comics.
Peace.